Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Now, you're not going to believe this, but today is a big day for me. I'm going to be heading down to Florida today. I get on the flight, and by the end of the week, I'll have driven a real NASCAR. I know, right? It's crazy because I've got tons of hours in the simulator, right? And I usually do Formula 1 races in the simulator, but I have done the NASCAR races on Gran Turismo, and they're fun. I like NASCAR, but the sim is going to be nothing compared to driving a real life NASCAR. I'm going to be going to the Daytona Super Speedway, and I'm going to get to drive a real NASCAR. So this is big. Like, this is huge. But I just have a couple of hours left before I go to the airport, and yeah, I'll give you updates on the way because I'm super excited, guys. I'm so pumped up. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I'll see you guys at the airport. Hey guys, this is me on the way to the airport. We're just heading over now. So, we're getting closer to NASCAR, guys. I'm excited. Let's go. Let me take this opportunity to explain what's going on and to talk about my experience. So, NASCAR has what's called the Richard Petty driving experience, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You get to choose from the tracks that they run the experience at, and then you get to go and either have a professional drive you around the track, or you can get behind the wheel yourself and turn laps while a spotter talks you through the experience. Of course, it will cost you a pretty penny, but motorsport is not cheap, so that's just to be expected. However, as far as racing goes, it's actually not too bad. So, my parents had decided that this would be my graduation gift because they know how much racing means to me and they wanted to support my passion and my dream. Now, of course, NASCAR doesn't just let you get in and go full speed. They have to start you off slow, and if you do exactly what they tell you, then they will increase your speed every so often up to a certain point. Now, that may sound like a bit of a bummer to most. However, it needs to be understood that racing is an extremely physical sport, and the drivers are trained to withstand the G-forces and have been trained to endure them for long stretches of time, as most of us have not. However, they do let you go really fast. If you do well, you will go faster than you'd ever be allowed to go on the streets, and even faster than the vast majority of streetcars can even dream of going. As well, if you pay, you can get a little extra out of your experience, as you get the extra package that gets you the full video replay of your drive, as well as a photo, a t-shirt, and a hat. If you're a racing fan of any kind, I highly recommend this. It's absolutely amazing as far as experiences go. I'll put some of the links in the description for you to check it out, and it'll hopefully make your research a little bit easier. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this kind of experience if you like NASCAR, if you like Formula 1. It doesn't matter which kind of racing you like, just the opportunity to get in the car yourself and to drive a real racing car, one that's like an actual, purebred racing machine, just to feel the RPMs, to feel the speed. There's nothing like it. There's nothing else quite like it. So yeah, I would totally recommend this to anyone who has, any sort of passion for racing or anything. So yeah, I'll put those in the description for you to check out. Another thing I would recommend is that you plan for it to be a whole day trip, because your driving will only be up to an hour or so, depending on how much time you pay for. But if you stick around after the driving, they also run tours that will take you to see the grandstands, victory lane, and much more. And of course, they also have a little museum that you can check out afterwards. It's one of those museums that you could spend as little as 10 minutes looking around, or as much as a couple of hours reading everything, depending on how much you want to read of the information and how much of it you want to see. You can either be there for hours, or you can just take a quick peek, see the cars, and head out. And last but not least, they have the gift shop. It's actually pretty sick. They got tons of good quality car models, all sorts of clothing, and things like mugs, keychains, and magnets. And everyone there is super friendly and will tell you all about the history of the track and the sport of NASCAR itself. So overall, it makes for an amazing experience. Hey guys, I made it to the hotel. I forgot to take a video when I first got here just because our flight was delayed 2 hours, and by the time I got here it was like 4 in the morning my home time, so like I was like dead, right? So I just went to sleep immediately, but we made it, we're good, and now we just gotta chill around here until it's time to do NASCAR. Let's go! Guys, it's getting close to time. In just any minute now, the driver's gonna pull up to bring us to the Daytona, and they're gonna set me up and get me going. So, oh my goodness, you have no idea how excited I am. Like, this is incredible. We're just waiting in the lobby over there, in the back, and yeah, we're gonna be going soon. We're almost there. Mom, how do you feel about me driving?
Good.
Not nervous?
No.
No?
No.
How do you feel, Dad?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
I'm hyped. Let's go. Woo! Here we are. Guys, we made it. We are here at the Daytona International Super Speedway.
Thank you so much. Enjoy.
This is incredible. You have no idea. There's a car going around the track. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm so excited. That'll be me any minute now. I'm just getting ready. Oh my god. This is incredible. I don't know if I'll be able to get any more footage later on for after this point, but they're giving us the onboard footage, so I will be sure to show you that. So yeah, let's get right into it. Hey guys, they got me all suited up. We're getting ready to go, guys. Look at this. I'm showing you the driving footage here. I'm going to talk about the experience and some of the things that surprised me or didn't surprise me. Basically just sort of some final thoughts looking back on the experience. Now, right off the bat, one of the first things that really surprised me was the size of the NASCAR. When you look at the cars on some of the video games, especially in comparison to F1 cars, it makes them look like huge beasts. However, when I found myself face to face getting ready to step into one for real, it looked much smaller than I was expecting. Now, before I actually drove the car myself, they had a pro driver take me around the track for a couple of laps, just so I kind of knew what to expect when I got in myself. Of course, the pro driver had full power, so when we entered the corners, I really felt the G-forces pushing me down and to the right, a solid bit more than when I was driving. Now, when I was getting in for my driving, I was expecting that I'd be nervous. However, I was actually pretty calm, other than the fact that I was super excited. Once I was in the car, it was an interesting feeling because the seat was slightly uncomfortable, but in a way that it was perfectly comfortable. One could say that it was comfortably uncomfortable, if that makes any sense. When the car was fired up, it wasn't as loud as I was expecting at first, although it was mostly because I had the helmet on, as whenever I was outside, listening without the helmet on, it was very loud. Once I was going, I noticed that the gas pedal was very easy to press, but the brake pedal was incredibly difficult to press, and I had to really use my leg muscles to get any significant pressure on the brakes. Now, my biggest shock during the experience was that once I got out onto the track and started going, it really made me appreciate Gran Turismo for its track accuracy. I was honestly expecting that seeing the track in real life would show me that Gran Turismo had the scaling wrong or the physics of the driving slightly wrong, but when I was out there turning laps, I was completely taken aback as to how similar Gran Turismo is able to get to the real thing. On Gran Turismo, I find on the backstretch, I occasionally have to steer ever so slightly about a degree or so to the right, and I figured that was just video game nonsense, because it's a straight stretch, you shouldn't have to turn. But, when I was actually there on the track for real, I actually found that I would in fact have to steer about a degree to the right occasionally, and when I was there they had told me the backstretch, although visibly flat, is actually banked about 3 degrees just to make sure there's no standing water on the track, which would explain having to do that slight bit of steering. It also surprised me that the car doesn't have a speedometer. It has all sorts of gauges to show the driver the RPMs, the water temperatures, oil pressures, and whatnot, but no speedometer. I also found that the car, although slightly tighter to steer than my street car, was not as difficult to steer as I expected. I anticipated that I would be fighting for my life around the corners, but I found that it was not too bad considering NASCARs don't have power steering. However, I did have to focus on not tensing up in the corners because, for whatever reason, my arms would really tense up as I started to turn into the corners, but it wasn't long before I was able to prevent myself from doing that just by focusing real good on not doing that. Driving around the track was also fun in the sense that my brain had to work overtime to take in all the visual information while going over 250 kilometers an hour, as I've never gone anywhere near that fast before in real life. And after the fact, when I go for a drive in my street car, I always feel like I'm going super slow, or at least my brain finds it easy to take in all the information at regular speeds, which makes me feel like I'm going slow because I've been velocitized to the higher speeds. And before I conclude the video, I just want to show you a couple things. First off, this funny moment here where the catch net unlatched and hit me on the head. And of course this moment here where the radio spotter told me to pass on the outside of the corner, even though I was told that nobody would be allowed to pass in the corners before I had even gotten into the car. And even the pro driver was waiting to make their passes on the backstretch or the tri-oval portion. It absolutely felt amazing to assert dominance on this random guy who was for some reason lifting me into the corners.